Welcome to Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears. You got C-Dubb in the building, my boy Kev in the building. We gonna just talk about Caleb Williams and Maxx Crosby. Y'all already know what it is. What's up, guys? Your number one spot for all Chicago Bears news is from us. That is Chicago Bears Central. Y'all know me. I am C-Dubb. Y'all know Big Kev. That's Big Kev. How you doing today, Big Kev?
Man, bro, trying to be young, was out all night, but we here, baby.
Shout out to the rest of the crew. I know that there was a couple videos made upon this situation already, but we want to give our takes on it as well. Well, most of us have sat and listened to or sat and watched the
Rush.
clips, or you watched the entire podcast where Caleb Williams joined Maxx Crosby along with another host. I forgot the gentleman's name on the Rush with Maxx Crosby, where they put proceeded to do all type of glazing of each other throughout the whole show. Now, looking at this show, I could come to a conclusion that these guys are in total awe of each other. They respect each other's game, as they said so eloquently up in the podcast. And to me, actually, it looks like they wouldn't mind being teammates. Keep it care.
I mean, frankly, who wouldn't mind being teammates with either one of these young gentlemen?
Yeah.
And it started in the regular season when the Chicago Bears faced the I keep wanting to say the Los Angeles, the Oakland, the Las Vegas Raiders. That's how old I am. Every time I talk about the Raiders, I think about where they played previously to where they are now. But they both showed immense amount of respect for each other during the regular season. You know, Caleb even went so far as to say that Maxx Crosby was the best player he ever played against early in his young career. And Crosby actually showed Caleb a thing or two about what defensive linemen can do when they're placed all over the field, and he can't really account for them. So it was a good experience watching them sit down and kind of give each other their flowers, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Big Kev, that the Bears in that point in this I want to call it a build, but in this process of what direction we want to go with next season. We want to take a long shot at it. Do we want to continue to build slowly and already a proven build that we have? I just want to know what you think acquiring a guy like Maxx Crosby would mean for the Chicago Bears in their direction and in their intention in the next season.
I mean, it would mean the world, to get a player like Maxx Crosby or someone else that could become a disruptive force on the defensive line. We know we got Montez Sweat. We know we got Austin Booker. We know we have Brady Jarrett on the inside in that defensive tackle position. But frankly, and even Javon Dexter, right? Javon Dexter Sr., none of those guys are like game wreckers, right? Like
Mhm.
you're not teams, they circle them and they talk about them in pregame and so on and so forth. They look at their tape during the week, but they're not going to go out there and make things hard for the opposing quarterback in a way that they're like afraid. Like when you got Myles Garrett out there, or you got, of course, Maxx Crosby. So the Chicago Bears were able to make their bones defensively last season from takeaways. And if you got somebody that's out there that has the capability of sacking the quarterback double-digit times, it makes it easier for the guys that I mentioned before, right? Like Montez Sweat, it'll be easier for him. Austin Booker, it'll be easier for him when you got to double team a guy like Maxx Crosby. Now, is it something that the Bears can do? Yeah, they can, but it might take a lot. Is it something they will do? I'm not necessarily sure. if they're gonna do everything it takes to acquire a guy like Maxx Crosby. But we can all sit back and dream and wonder and hope because that's what the offseason is about.
Yeah, and just to add it on, I have seen little offers or little made up offers of DJ Moore in the first for Maxx Crosby. And that was that if that was to happen, I think that would be a fair exchange on my part. Let's just look at Maxx Crosby. When you look at Maxx Crosby in his what is it, 6 years that he's played the NFL, he's got 49 and a half sacks. Now that's pretty good, but that's not, like he's not top 5 in the last 6 years or anything like that. I mean, he can get to the quarterback. Like he only half the seasons he had double digit sacks in his 6 years as a pro. I'm not going to mention injuries or how many games he sat out because the Raiders were bad or anything like that. But his game is not purely defined on just sacks. It's a multitude of things on rushing the quarterback, putting pressure on the quarterback, being a smart run stopping defensive end, and he bats a lot of balls down too. Uh, this guy Maxx Crosby, which I would also like to call like a a 0 yard gain sack as myself because it's mostly almost a sack. He just not using losing yards. I think this guy's a difference maker. If you go ahead and you go grab a guy like Maxx Crosby, I think you can do it 2 ways. I think you can chew gum and walk at the same time. You can still be he's 32 years old, Kev.
He's
You
28,
probably
right?
got huh?
I think he's 28.
Maxx Crosby?
Yeah, let
Let's
me double
just
check.
yeah, double check that. I think he's 32. I seen 32. Um, I think you could do 2 things at once. You could walk and chew gum. If you want
Yeah,
to
he's
think
he's
that you can
28.
go and 28. Okay, he's
Mhm.
28 years old. So that gives him more fucking room to keep building this team for a couple more for one more year. You could probably still like build and still progress as a team. Like you made the wild card game, you won that, you went to the division round, and you lost in a tough game at the end against the Rams. Now your next goal is probably to win that said divisional round or go to the Super Bowl. I think it's dynamic. It doesn't signal that you're absolutely going to the Super Bowl if you get a Maxx Crosby. What it ultimately signals to me is that you got better. That's all it says. I ain't putting nothing on it.
Yeah, I mean, he's 28, but like he signed a 3-year, $106 million deal. He's gonna be making upwards of 35 or so $1 million a year. So one of those, if you go all in for a player like Maxx Crosby, you better win it all. That's a win it all type of move right there. And for me personally, moving on from a player like DJ Moore, I'm not 100% sold on. That's just how I feel because I feel like DJ Moore, he got a lot of flack for that last play in the playoffs against the LA Rams. But DJ Moore is a durable wide receiver. Pretty much every wide receiver that we had on the roster last season missed time with injuries. He didn't. He hasn't missed a game since he's played for the Chicago Bears, even with seeing him get hurt in the games. He's always back on the field. If you look at the top plays from Caleb Williams last year, DJ Moore was responsible for at least 2 of them, right? The big play where he caught this crazy pass in the back of the end zone versus Cincinnati, and of course the overtime touchdown against the Green Bay Packers. So like, I'm not necessarily sure if the Las Vegas Raiders are okay with just getting the DJ Moore and a first round pick and whatever else the Chicago Bears throw into the pot, maybe a second or third round pick the following season. But maybe they want a Micah Parsons type haul. And am I willing to give up, 3 first round picks for a player like Maxx Crosby? Not necessarily. When you have other ways to improve your defensive line, especially through the draft or through free agency, with Hendrickson available from Cincinnati as a free agent, he's the one that's about 32. I think that's who you were thinking about.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, if you got to kick the can, right? Regardless of what the numbers say, what the money says, and what players need to go, you have to at least consider the option of acquiring a player like Max Crosby.
Yeah, there's some good points that you said, Big Kev, about you don't know if you getting rid of if you really want to get rid of DJ Moore. You said a bunch of positives for DJ Moore. There are negatives out there which you didn't discuss. I'm not going to even be petty out here, but it is some negatives
Of
to
course.
DJ Moore. But he is a really good receiver. But I think Max Crosby, if you look at him side to side, he's a better player. And if you lose a DJ Moore and you gain a Max Crosby, ultimately you get better as a team. To me, um, now their chemistry was pretty good on that show. I don't on that Max Crosby the Rush show. It's almost like they were not pals. They were like flirting with each other's game to see if they could connect and be teammates. To me, I think this was all a collusion to join each other. Like, come on, Joe, let's get on the show. I'm gonna get you out of Las Vegas. You see where we going? We the hottest thing in the NFL. Everything on TikTok is Caleb Williams. I'm nice man throwing touchdown. He has probably Caleb Williams have maybe 5 of the top 10 best throws of the NFL this season. Um, do you think this happened? That's the end this off. First week of the 2026 season. Where does Max Crosby play, Big Kev?
Hmm. That's a big question, gang.
No, it's not.
Uh,
That's what do you think now? It can be dynamic. It can change.
yeah, like as far as I'm concerned, I believe the Chicago Bears are going to do everything they can to acquire a player like Max Crosby because he wants to be here. This isn't the
Obviously.
first time that he has expressed his desire to be a Chicago Bear. His love affair with the Chicago Bears has been a season long experience. If you take post game from the time that we played them, if you take toward the end of the season when he was talking about how he appreciates and loves Ben Johnson. That was a
Yeah.
situation. And then if you take this situation with him and Caleb sitting down on his podcast, which I don't know how the NFL allow these players to sit and talk with each other, man. But yeah, I personally, day week one, I see Max Crosby in the Chicago Bears uniform because I think the Bears understand that they're not necessarily one player away from the Super Bowl, but this player can put them in position to actually go to the Super Bowl, if that makes sense.
Okay. And I respect that. And that's after all you said about DJ Moore.
Of course.
And you're not sure about the draft compensation you really to give up to the Raiders. What would be something that have you to sit back and be like, nah, we can't do that.
Oh, if they want 2 first rounders.
If they want 2 first rounders,
Yeah,
so you
nah.
willing to just go one like
Yeah.
a first? Give me the deal. Just throw it like a deal out
Yeah,
there.
like DJ Moore, because he's the best that the Bears have to offer in that regard. Because the Las Vegas Raiders are going to be drafting most likely Mendoza out of Indiana.
Yeah,
And they're going to need a number one receiver. So DJ Moore, to the current first round picks, which would be the 25th pick overall in this upcoming draft, and I would say like third or fourth round pick for next year.
yeah,
But anything beyond that, if they're talking about they want 2 number 1s, 3 number 1s, nah, fam. Like we're gonna have to go organic with this or hit the free agent market. You don't want to mortgage your future. We've seen it happen with Julius Peppers. We've seen it happen with Khalil Mack. You just don't want to be in a situation where you're looking up and you don't have any type of leverage from a first round perspective over the next 3 or 4 seasons.
yeah. Um, I'm gonna have to say, as I answer the question, I do think that Max Crosby will play with the Chicago. I mean, it will change, and I can be wrong, but I think Max Crosby will be playing with the Chicago Bears in Week 1. I just think if you look when you look at the Chicago Bears, if you lose a guy DJ Moore and all those things you said about him, about his talent, about the big catches of last year, all of that shit is correct. But losing to DJ Moore, I don't think you lose much in this. It may sound crazy to say, but me myself, I think that Coastal Loveland will be better. I think that Rome Dunze will be better.
He better be.
I think that that's fair too. That's fair. I think Luther Burton will be better. Maybe Jade Walker is ready to step up and be a third level wide receiver. The Bears actually had a really terrific young wide receiver core with a tight end that's poised to be probably a top three tight end in the league next season. I think the Bears will be okay if they lose a guy like DJ Moore, incredible talent that he is. I'll be okay if he comes back next year or two. It's not that big of a deal, but to acquire a guy like Maxx Crosby, maybe a first and a third and a DJ Moore, I think that would suffice, and I think that'll be a great deal for me.
Yeah, we're gonna see, man. I know.
Yeah,
I know that Ryan Poles is trying to come up with every conceivable angle to
yeah,
acquire a guy like Maxx Crosby and beyond. Now,
hmm
Myles Garrett, on the other hand, yeah, you throw everything in the kitchen
yeah,
sink, and for that situation, like, oh, you
yeah,
want
absolutely.
who you? Everybody but Caleb and Coasted, like the ones that we're invested in. It's on the table. Shit, we'll even trade Ryan Poles for Myles Garrett. You feel me? Gang?
Oh man, what that's a good conversation. The symmetry between Maxx Crosby and Caleb Williams is it's been interesting. We getting close to that time, guys, of on this off season. Got the draft coming up. You
The
got,
combine.
your mini camps and your training camps are coming up as well. They will be coming here soon enough. It's months away, but the time is flying by.
Hmm.
So make sure you guys linked in and have your notifications on. Hit those likes buttons and subscribe so you won't miss anything. We are the number one spot for Chicago Bears news and content. Maxx Crosby, the Chicago Bear. We'll see.